Welcome back, everybody, to another quick review. Today, we are talking about my game of the year so far this year, Final Fantasy 16. I just finished this game yesterday. I meant to record this quick review yesterday, but I guess I needed more time and I completely forgot to. So, I'm recording this today. It is Thursday, July 13th. It took me 3 weeks to get this game done, because what they originally said is that the main story should take you about 30 to 40 hours to complete, and side content will get you up to like 70 or something hours. I decided to do everything, and I even went back into training mode and then I did stage replay and all that stuff. So when I when all was said and done, I finished the game with about 126 hours, which, if you don't know, is longer than my first playthrough of Xenoblade Chronicles. So you could say that I was heavily addicted to this game for 3 weeks. I went out of town and some stuff happened. Besides that couldn't make me play as much as I wanted to. But for the most part, um, I was heavily addicted to this game, and the game is really freaking good. It's not perfect. As much as I hate to say it, it's not perfect. I'm gonna get my negatives, my cons about the game out of the way first before I move on into the pros. Side quest, I think 80% of the side quests are really good in this game, which I think 80% is a really good ratio for a side quest. But I think the best part about every single side quest is that every single side quest does a really good job at world building and building up this world around you of like the bearers. There are these slaves that are treated horribly, and then the rich, and then the icon, and just the characters, and the power dynamic between like in the entire world, of how magic is killing them, like essentially just killing them, and the blight as well. Um, it this all Every single side quest is does a really good job at world building. Unfortunately, a lot of the side quests are glorified fetch quests or slang quests, right? But and like 20% of them are like really boring. It's like such a drag, and I hate it. It's really boring. Um, my other issue with the game has to do with the story, not like the story itself. I think the story is like one of the best stories I've ever seen in video games. It's so good. My issue with the story is the pacing, because I think the first 60% of this game story is phenomenal. Pacing wise is phenomenal. It's the last 40% of the game I think is kind of mellows out and kind of slows down a bit. Like there's a point where you go to a new country, a new continent, and or something like that, like a new nation, blah blah blah. And I feel like when you get there, the story starts to slow down a bit. I don't know what it is. And there are some bits and pieces that are thrown into the story that I'm not the biggest fan of. Um, but it doesn't it's that's not like as big a con for me as the pacing is. Not every game is perfect. Not even Final Fantasy VI, which is my favorite game of all time, is perfect. But the pacing is at times is kind of weird to me. I'm done with the negatives now. Let me talk about the positives. This is not going to be that quick a review. The combat in this game is really good. I for some reason, I don't know how this happened. The past year at this point, I have just been going on a spree of just playing character action games. I played Devil May Cry 5, which quick reviewed on the channel. I played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, which I also quick reviewed on the channel. Those links will be in the description. I played Hi-Fi Rush recently, which I do need to do a quick review on. That game was phenomenal. That game was so good. Um, and I tried getting to Bayonetta, but I don't know what it was about Bayonetta that just kind of didn't do it for me. But Final Fantasy 16, I feel like, is while combat isn't as fun as Devil May Cry, I think it's still really good and really creative. And if you go into New Game Plus, which I've been doing, I feel like New Game Plus is absolutely going to give you more options to combos. Like I feel like it'll give me more of a chance to work on combos rather than just getting by a battle to progress the story, right? Because I already know what happens, so now I just want to um, get all the powerful stuff and figure out combos, and it'll be a lot of fun. It'll for sure be a lot of fun. But combos and the combat system for the most part is phenomenal. The story throughout the entire thing is emotional and heartfelt, but still action packed and amazing. Like I want to talk about anything. The highest of this game, the peak of this game are the icon battles. The icon battles are absolutely crazy. Like every boss battle is absolutely crazy. Now I kind of want to run through them. I'm not gonna. I've pretty much spoiled the game already, but most of the game already. But I'm gonna kind of run through them. The first icon battle, which is Ifrit versus Phoenix, really good. Really does a good job at setting up what the scale of these icon battles is going to be. And then you have the second one, which is Ifrit versus Garuda, or Clive versus Benedicta, which is does a really good job at introducing you to Ifrit, and if it does a good job at introducing you to Ifrit and what Ifrit can do. Then you have the Ifrit versus Ifrit fight, which is really good. It's like a limit break fight. I think it's really good just as a story moment. It's really good as a story moment. You know, telling Clive, just like Clive moving forward. And then you have the next three fights, which are crazy. You have the Ifrit versus Typhon fight, I think it's called, which was like your first exposure to like the full power of what Ifrit could do, and that fight blew me away. Music was great. Combat was phenomenal. And then you get to the Titan fight, and it's like, how does this get any better? Because like the Titan fight has three phases where you just Titan first, and you're playing as Ifrit, and then you have Titan Lost, which is like this like God of War 3-esque boss fight where you're just like running up Titan Lost and fighting it as you're going up. It's so cool. And then you have the third phase, which is like the falling back to the ground. That's such a cool fight, and the way it ends is like a freaking JoJo battle. And it's it's like a stand battle. It's so cool. It's so fun. And then the Bahamut fight, I'm not gonna spoil because you gotta kind of have to experience that for yourself. But that is like one of the best boss fights in any video game possible. And then you get to the Odin fight, and it's like that fight. I think when I think about it again, at first it was underwhelming, but when I go back and think about it again, it's really good for the character of Barnabas and Odin. The fact that it's just a straight sword fight. You don't see Odin that much. You see him a lot, but you don't see Odin that much. And it's a straight sword fight between these two characters that just freaking hate each other, and it's so cinematic. And when I just look back at it, I think it's better than I remembered it. And then the final boss, which I'm not going to spoil either, is also really good. I think that is the best boss fight in the game. It's probably the best boss fight of all time in any video game. I just think that the stakes and the emotions, and then what you get to do in that boss fight, and who the final boss is, and just like the stage and like the everything around you is so cool, so fun, and and then you don't end it on the icon. You end it versus like Clive versus this like big bed. It's so cool. The icon battle is not the main focus of it. It's so cool. It is so fun, and I really enjoyed it. Last thing I really want to talk about, the music, phenomenal. The music is absolutely amazing. Soken worked his magic and delivered heavily. It was so good. The Titan theme during that boss fight, even Barnabas' theme, but specifically, I think Find the Flame or whatever it's called, it's really good. But specifically, the theme for Phoenix and Bahamut are really good. Ultimate's theme is also kind of catchy, but the theme for Phoenix and Bahamut are some of my favorite music in video games. It's so good. But yeah, all in all, Final Fantasy 16 is phenomenal game. Characters are phenomenal. Story is phenomenal. Has its issues, but it's still really good. It's my personal game of the year, and I don't think it's my favorite Final Fantasy game. I think that still belongs to 6, but it's still really good. And if I had to compare this game to anything, ironically, it'd probably be Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for a lot of reasons, but it's still really good. One of those reasons I just completely forgot to mention until now is the villain. I think the main villain is okay. It's just like Xenoblade 3, unironically voiced by the same dude, which is funny to think about. It has that final area has a lot of comparisons to Xenoblade 3, but I digress. Final Fantasy 16 is a phenomenal game. This was not that quick of a review, but it still works. I still love this game. Yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you next time. Goodbye.